Good evening, gentle listener, and welcome to
No, that's the wrong intro. I'm sorry. Give me one moment. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Redacted Podcast Title. It's not distractible, nor is it a Whitloff production. My name is Joseph, but you can call me Joey, as most people do. Before this episode begins, we need to thank our sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors.
Today on this episode of
Redacted Podcast Title,
we will be talking about our values, and by we, I mean I. I can't hear you. This is a recording. At least, I don't think I can hear you. Can you talk? Either way. Hello and welcome to me rambling on about some of the things I value probably most in this world. But before this episode can continue, we need to thank our sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors.
I love music. I love listening to it, and I love making it. I've lost count of the amount of times it's made me feel better when something stressed me out, or if I just had a bad day in general. Wait, I said I lost count, but it's not like I was even counting in the first place. I think I got into music mainly because the entirety of my dad's side of the family plays an instrument. My dad was a drummer, so I grew up in that environment, so it just came to me naturally, I guess.
Thank you, sponsors.
One of my favorite artists, if not my favorite artist, is Spaceman Zach. He inspires me the most when it comes to me making my music. I don't know what it is about his style of music that I love so much, but I think it just sounds so cool. I guess I just like how he can make anything sound dark without even making it sound like a dark song. I know that sounds dumb, it doesn't really make any sense. I really don't know how to explain it, but it just is and isn't evil at the same time. This episode of
Redacted Podcast Title
is sponsored by Kale Soda. With
Thank you, sponsors.
absolutely no healthy components and a single sip, Kale Soda will send you straight to the ER, leaving a not at all pleasant taste in your
Thank you,
mouth.
sponsors.
Before I tried Kale Soda, I was a train wreck. I hadn't even been yelled at my boss once. Now I know better. I took one sip of Kale Soda and my boss fired me on the spot, and I didn't even know he was there. Don't believe me?
Thank you, sponsors.
Just ask my friend Zix. Zix, how have you been liking Kale Soda so far, and what is your favorite flavor?
Confused, bro.
Believe me now, Kale Soda, it'll ruin your life.
Not for human consumption, tested on just way too many animals.
Thank you, sponsors.
Kale Soda is not responsible for any multiverse collision that may occur upon purchase.
Thank you, sponsors.
I value art very high on my list. If it weren't for music, it would probably be number one. I don't really appreciate art in the way that other people do who go to museums and stuff. I don't even make art for other people or for the sake of making a masterpiece. I just make art because it makes my life easier. It makes it easy for me to make cover art for my songs and just whenever I need it. If I ever design something, I can just draw it, which most people can't just do. I've been drawing since I was only a couple of months old. Of course, I'm not saying they were good. I was a couple months old. My art has only gotten good around 2018, because up until then I didn't really care about it as much. But now I try to draw to improve, and usually I don't stop until I get something right. So much so that I ruin the paper, just with the amount of times I erase and draw again. I'm not really sure how to end this episode. The only source I have is Distractable, so I guess I'll award myself 10 points for music, 5 points for that absolutely amazing ad read, and I'll give me 5 points for art only because I didn't have as much detail and because it was second. With that being said, it looks like myself won by 10 points. Myself, is there anything you'd like to say before I end this episode? Oh, right, that's me. 1 second, I think I had it here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Thank you to our sponsors for making this episode of
Redacted Podcast Title.
Make sure to join us next week where who knows what we'll talk about.
Thank you, sponsors.